Ashley Garrett writes about gratitude, grief, and growth on her blog, Her Baddest Mother Ever. Don't let the lipstick fool you. She also wrote her master's thesis on how women say fuck.
But don't tell my grandmother. Y'all bear with me. I'm the woman from Georgia that they asked to speak slowly, so we could be here a while. One sunny Sunday afternoon in November of 2004, Richard and I took a walk down to Fells Point in Baltimore. We sat on a bench by the harbor, and I watched the seagulls dip and dive around the trash cans. A bright white paddle wheel boat, the Black-Eyed Susan, rocked against the dock. I told him how the flower Black-Eyed Susan always made me think of Van Morrison's Brown-Eyed Girl. I sang the chorus. It made him smile. A pack of Cub Scouts climbed up to the bridge of the boat to ring the brass bell. The autumn sun was warm but weak. I was glad for my jacket. The boys took turns ringing the bell, then chased each other down the ladder to the deck, then to the dock, then across the wide brick courtyard behind us. Sunlight sparkled off the diamond engagement ring that Richard had given me a few months before. His grandfather, Jack, had given it to his grandmother, Sadie, in 1927, and she had worn it for 75 years. Now he had given it to me as a sign of his trust and our commitment to each other. We held hands, and I remember thinking, I'm really happy, right here, right now. Then a phrase entered my mind that has stayed with me for 10 years. It's all one life. It's all one life. Here's the detail that's missing from the scene I've described above. Richard was feeling pretty good that day after his third round of chemo, but it hadn't put him into remission. He told me a half-truth that week so as not to break my heart with disappointment and fear. He said his doctors were calling it a partial remission. It didn't take. So we left the safe confines of the guest house on Johns Hopkins campus to walk down the hill to the harbor on a sunny day. It was the first walk we had taken outside together in months. I worried most of the way that his energy wouldn't hold out. I tucked a $20 bill in my pocket in case we needed a cab to bring us back up the hill. For years, I had chased him all over Europe on our adventures together, but now I was shortening my steps and slowing my pace so he didn't tire too quickly. But sitting there in the sun that day, I felt a sense of wholeness about our situation. For once, I wasn't piecing it apart into the things I accepted, the love we felt for each other, the joy of rambunctious kids, the autumn sun, the promise of a boat, and the things I fought against, leukemia, chemo, guest houses, unknowing, weakness, and change. I had space in my heart and in my mind in that moment for all of it. It's all one life. Before that day, the mantra, "It is what it is," had been helpful to us. But I could only use it as an antidote for each piece of information, each separate challenge that came our way. It was a one thing at a time kind of mantra. It's all one life was a rare expression of wholeness and acceptance in that chaotic time, when every day, hour, or minute might bring with it some blow to our life together. After Richard died at the age of 38, I asked myself, if you could do it all over again, would you? And my answer was a quick yes. Even with the horror of that year and the emptiness after he was gone, I wouldn't have traded the good times in exchange for missing the bad. To quote the country song, I'm not a cliche, I swear to God. I could have missed the pain, but I've had to miss the dance. Years before, I had asked myself a similar question after the divorce from my cheating first husband, Fartbuster. God looking, I look at Miss Ellie. Oh. Would I have been better off never having married him? These are impossible questions because changing one thread of my life would have put me somewhere else, and I wouldn't have heard the Cub Scouts ringing the bell aboard the Black-Eyed Susan as Sadie's diamond sparkled in the sun, even if my beloved was dying beside me. It's all one life. I couldn't have been the mother who looked into my firstborn's blinking eyes and whispered, "Hey, I've waited my whole life to meet you," if I hadn't been the woman who brushed Richard's eyes closed after they left this world to look upon some other. It's all one life, and I'm so glad it's mine. Thank you.